Evening, boys.
Evening, Sally.
Welcome to The Chatting, your local pubcast. I'm Rob.
I'm Kirk.
I'm Mark.
And I'm the other Mark. 3 pints, Sally. And what are you having?
I'll have a espresso martini.
Cheers. I'll fetch him over.
Evening, gentle chaps. How we doing?
Evening, Rob. You all right?
All right.
Good, yeah. I'm all right.
All good.
You? Yeah, good. Thank you.
Listen, I need to. Oh, I tell you what, I need to get some off my chest, guys.
Oh.
I've been watching telly this afternoon. All right. I know you're going to laugh when I tell you, but I'm watching Dickinson's Real Deal. Is it on ITV?
Yeah.
Right. Oh, listen. You're watching It comes on. It's an hour program, right? It comes on. It goes right. This is what's coming up in the show. Don't tell me what's coming up in bloody show. Put the show on. so you've got 5 minutes. 2 or 3 minutes. Right. This is what's coming on. Right. Great. Show starts. Right. You've got them round the table going. Right. I'm going to give you £5, £10, and then Dickinson, whatever, tan guy comes round, goes, oh, I don't think that's enough. Right. Well, why is he poking his nose in? What's he getting involved with? He's sat with a dealer. Then that little come
dealer?
on. A dealer? I don't mean a drugs deal, but he's sat there doing his thing. And then it cuts to somebody else, and you're like, hang on a minute, I need to know what's happening with this guy. And it's cut to someone else. And then guess what happens? Dickinson comes over again. Right, no, that's not enough. Why is he getting involved again? I know it's his show. Then what happens? TV break. There's another break. There's a break. So he goes off. You got 3 minutes, 4 minutes adverts. It comes back on. It goes, coming up in show. What are you telling me? It's telling me it's something else that's coming up in show. We're only 15 minutes into it, and then they'll do another deal, and then he's coming on all this, and then honestly, and then they'll say right, and then they'll break before adverts. And then when adverts come, when you're coming back after adverts, they'll go, this is what's happened in the show already. I know that. I've been sat here 20 minutes. Honestly, I've been sat here 20 minutes watching the show. Why are you telling me what's already happened in the show? Then it's telling me what's coming up in the show. I mean, if I were a producer, I'd just get it down in 20 minutes show. Forget an hour. Honestly, guys, all shows are like this.
In the day.
Yeah.
Anyway,
while we're at work.
That's my rant over.
So that's why it tells you what's happened. So when we've come in from work, we've got a chance to...
What's that?
It is exactly the same as them oldie programmes, isn't it? We wish you were here.
Yeah.
And you condense what they've actually shown you and told you over the
Judith
episode.
Chalmers.
Yeah. He's like,
honestly,
you've just watched 15 minutes of telly.
I love that. It doesn't wind me up as much as what obviously it does you, Mark, and I hope you feel better after getting that off your chest. But I do tend to agree with you.
What's going off?
I literally was watching Limitless Win the other night. And
is that with Ant and Dec?
Yeah, with Ant and Dec. And it's brilliant, absolutely brilliant. But the whole idea of the programme, how it makes you feel, is the answer right? Is it wrong? Are they going to get it? Are they going to get above a certain amount of money? And literally, as the programme started, as it was coming on, they said, and tonight we have our first ever couple that cash out at £1 million.
Did they? Did they say that?
Yeah.
Really?
Do you know what? I didn't see that. I only saw it from so far in, and I was gripped. And when they got it, I was like, "This is brilliant." And I've never really watched it before.
Why did they have to say that?
We spoilt it.
Absolutely.
Well,
I watched it. I enjoyed it, but there was no trepidation whatsoever. I knew exactly what the answer they were going to get right. I knew exactly when they were going to cash out. Everything, and that was bang right at the start. And tonight we have our first couple that cash out at £1 million.
So I'm glad I didn't see the beginning then, because I was absolutely gripped thinking, please don't gamble, please don't gamble. You need to press that button. And then when she said, I'm looking over there, I'm thinking, for God's sake, you've got to press that button. Because you were like, and I've never watched it before. Ellen knew more about it than what I did. I didn't know that you couldn't guess over the numbers and all this sort of stuff. But what a format!
Would you go on a quiz show?
Do you know what? I thought this the other day.
Good question.
Because I've always been, from previously, back when I was doing the acting and stuff, it was always seen as you couldn't do anything like that if you wanted to be an actor and be on TV, because it would, I don't know if you couldn't do it, but it was seen as it wouldn't be good for you. So I'd always just ruled it out that I'd ever want to do that, because I always thought there might be a chance one day I might end up being an actor.
I could see you on Mastermind, Rob.
I need to think what his specialist subject would be.
The Oxford Dictionary.
I wouldn't even put me on Krypton Factor these days.
Krypton Factor.
Put you on X Factor.
You'd have never have put me on X Factor. I think more so these days. I do think I've got a personality. I could go on these games, because that's what it is. They're not looking for people that can answer. What are you laughing at? You cheeky bugger?
Nothing. You carry on, Rob.
you don't. Most of the people that go on there, all right, they are the proper quiz shows that do require good general knowledge. They are looking for people that have got a level of general knowledge, but most of them are looking for personalities, aren't they? And I don't mean personalities that are famous. I just mean people that have got a personality.
What would you go on if you could?
Ooh, well, you see, we were looking at we were watching it with Amy and Alan. We were watching, was it New Wheel of Fortune? And I think somebody won something like 30 grand. And I was looking and thinking, why on earth would you go on something where you could only win £1,000 or £2,000 if you could go on another one and win potentially or limitless win and potentially go for something, you know, like 6-7
Sounds
figures.
like Mark's having a rant now.
No, but
I've sorted it
I
off.
tell you what does do my head in though is when you watch some quiz shows and you watch them and and I know sometimes the likes might put you off and they get shell shocked or whatever and the brain just goes to mush. But there's one on at the minute and I really like it, and it's called Ridiculous. And there's a guy and they do general knowledge and then you have to answer guess a riddle. So solve the riddle, should I say? And there were a couple on the other day. They went, "Oh, I'm rubbish at riddles. What are you doing on this program? Oh, I'm rubbish at riddles. I know. Put me on a riddle program. Go on the chase or the gladiators or well, you can't win money on the gladiators, can you? But or I don't think you can.
I don't know. I've not watched it. I've not watched it.
I think I'd go on Deal or No Deal.
All right. That stressed me out too much.
Simple. Don't have to think. It's just potluck.
Yeah, and it's having balls though, isn't it?
Yeah.
Well, I just don't. I don't get Deal or No Deal. Even when no Edmonds did. Is it me or I just don't get it? As in, it's just a game of luck.
It is a
Yeah.
game
It's
of luck.
whatever's in that box. That
But also holding your nerve. It's also holding your nerve because obviously when you get given the offer from the banker, do you take it or not? So it is a game of luck, absolutely. But it's when do you cash out? When do you take that offer?
I just don't get it. I don't get it. It's like whatever's in your box at end. Just open box to begin with.
I'm just not going on a game show that requires any knowledge because I ain't going on it. So I'm just going on a game show that's just complete luck and fun.
I'd love to see you, Rob, and you, Mark.
Me?
No, other Mark, on a programme called Race Across the World. Have you seen it?
Yes, I've seen it.
Have you seen it?
Hang on a minute. Are you saying I can't run?
I'm saying you'd take too long thinking about it.
Oh, okay. Carry on.
No, I'd love to see you two on Race Across the World.
Is it that one on Channel 4 where they have to
BBC,
escape?
I think.
Where they have to escape?
No.
Are they naked?
No. So you've got a certain. You get given a budget of I don't know £600 or whatever, and you've got to get it's either as far as you can or to a certain place before everybody else does.
No, yeah. So
and they stop off and they'll work as a butler or something for a couple of nights to top the money up so they can get on the next plane. And
it's a race from point A to point B. So it could be literally from one end of like top end of Canada to the bottom end
butler
of
from.
Well, I've seen
America.
that. I've seen something like that, but they were naked. What have I been watching?
I really don't know.
Seriously, there were couples.
Euro trash?
wrong program, Mark.
That is a. I used to love that. With what's his name? French guy.
He's dead now, isn't he?
Gautier, yeah.
Is he
That
dead?
were great. Anyway.
Oh no, it's not him that's dead. It's her with boobs instead.
Boobs. Oh, I know. Woman with
Woman with boobs.
yeah. Benefit of the tape. We're doing anyway. But this program I've watched, there's couples, and they've got to travel across the world, which is what you're describing.
With no clothes
but they're naked. What is that? Not the same program? Seriously.
Did you start watching one programme, fall asleep, and wake up to Naked Attraction or something like that?
I might have woke up to
Naked
Dickinson's
attraction
Real Deal.
race across the world. Can you imagine that? Anyway, how far until you get arrested?
But no, I'd love to go on the Traitors.
Yeah.
I couldn't
yeah.
cope with that.
I've only watched one episode. I think.
Oh, it's
when it first
great.
started, just
It's
to see what it is. I don't
great.
really get it.
It's brilliant.
It's fantastic.
Absolutely brilliant.
Why would you go on it? What?
I just think because it's a game of skill, it's mind games, you've got obviously missions to complete, but then I don't know, there's just something I
it's
really
great.
like programs that are about behaviour and how people behave in certain situations.
So would you go on Big Brother?
Yes, I would go on Big Brother. Yes,
Yeah.
Yes, I would. My problem is I don't believe I'm interested enough to apply for it. You know, this day and age with reality TV, they're wanting big,
You've got to be really
big
extreme,
personalities
haven't
and
Yeah.
stuff like that. Whereas the Traitors does seem to be your everyday person, and I just like the concept of it. I really like the concept of it, and obviously, you know, I'd love to go on a game show or something like that to win, to have the option and win money. And that's the thing that I look at it and I think not only do you have an experience, but if you're good at it or whatever, you can come out not just on general knowledge or whatever, you can come out with a good chunk of change.
Yeah.
And I do think, like, you know, we talked about Limitless Win. Then people walked away. They went on a game show and they walked away with £1 million.
Well,
Now that's life-changing.
and you knew that from the
Yes.
beginning of the programme.
And I knew that from beginning of the programme, yeah. But that is life-changing into £1 million.
Absolutely, it is. I mean, could you imagine that sort of money?
Crazy.
Incredible. Can you imagine winning lottery?
Oh, that would be amazing.
How much?
200 million.
Oh. Well, that is life-changing, isn't it? I always say that I don't play at lottery unless it's worth winning.
Yeah.
I mean, let's face it, we'd all be happy with $1,000 or something.
I
do
know.
you know what I
Right?
mean?
Do you find yourselves though, when you're like just driving somewhere, if you're on a long drive and your mind just wanders and you go into that whole what if?
Oh, thank God, I thought it were only me.
No, it's clearly not. I mean, when you're going a long journey,
I
you've
think
got
we all
your
do that.
partner sat next to you, and you both are at it. Wait, do that, then what about that, and then what about this, and what about that? It takes up it can take up so much of your journey
Yeah.
talking about what if you won the lottery.
I do my other half's head in. I talk about it all the time. You know, they talk about manifestation, you know, and I think to myself, well, if I talk about it enough,
You might win.
so go on then. If you've thought about it and talked about it, what
Yeah.
would
What would you
you
do?
spend 200 million on?
200 million. Well, do you know one thing I've always said that I wouldn't do if I won to? Well, what I wouldn't do. I wouldn't leave my job immediately. And I don't particularly love my job. Now, I know that you're probably going to think, yeah, Rob, you say that. Yeah, but you know what I'm like? I'm a little bit strange in that if I say something, that's normally what I do. And I just think that by reacting off the cuff of, I've just won 200 million, I'm now a millionaire, therefore I'm going to live a millionaire's lifestyle. I'd be like, no, I need to be a bit grounded here. I might have won 200 million, but I don't want to become one of those people, which there are many of, that have won the lottery and said it's the worst thing that's ever happened to them. They've completely spiralled. Their lives have spiralled out of control. I don't want to be one of them. And I think that one of the ways of doing that would be to just try and keep your life. I wouldn't want to tell anybody I'd won for probably 4 or 5, 6 months.
So you may have won then.
Would you
Rob.
feel comfortable going around, sort of? This sounds a little bit far fetched to some extent, but unprotected, knowing that you're now worth 200 million, and there's people out there getting bloody
Unprotected?
mugged and
what do you
whatever
mean?
for 50 and 60 quid, and you've got 200 million in them. And I know you said people don't know.
Yeah,
so you wouldn't
no
tell
one
the
would know,
press.
and
or-
would know.
What do you mean by unprotected? I don't.
Well, I mean,
what-
you know, people get taken hostage and all sorts, don't they, for money? I mean, you look at
What, you wouldn't know what-
footballers get protection. And,
The first question would be, would you go public? And I wouldn't go public.
no.
Can I say something on that, though?
Yeah.
Because I've always said the same, that I wouldn't go public. But then I read an article on somebody that won the lottery, and they said that they'd always had it in their head that they wouldn't go public. But then what they realised is that the pressure that would put on their friends and family. So it's all right them deciding that they don't want to go public. But they would obviously tell their friends and family and their nearest and dearest, it would change their lives as well, but then realise that they would have to live a lie as well, that you're putting that on somebody else. So let's say that you won 200 million, Rob, and you said you weren't going public, you wanted to keep it private, yeah, and then you very kindly and very generously gave me £5 million, yeah, what reason do I have that I've just all of a sudden can quit my job and be a millionaire? And then if you did the same with Mark, and you did the same with other Mark, you know, eventually you're putting that on other people to keep that secret.
Yeah,
or to
but
keep
it's
that.
not necessarily keeping a secret.
I
Someone
don't
says to you,
think so.
have you come into some money? Yep. How? None of your business. But I have, yeah. Thanks.
Well, I just say my mate's won some money.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess I know what you're saying, but you're not really going public.
Rob, give me 5 mil.
You know, because you're not spreading it to the wider world, are you?
No.
You're just spreading it to your.
But to
to your
answer
sort of
to
close
finish the
circle.
question that I was saying was I just wouldn't, as well as going, not going public, I just want to try and just be a bit normal and just go, no, I accept and soak in that I'm doing what I normally did before, but I've got 200 million in the bank.
Yeah.
Like, I'm in control.
I'd be
I am
exactly like you, Rob.
I'm in control of this. It's not owning me, I'm owning it. I'm not changing anything just because I've won that money. don't get me wrong, give me 5 months. In fact, it wouldn't even be that.
Be 5 minutes,
then
wouldn't
I
it?
would
5
leave.
minutes.
And I would go and do something that I've always wanted to do because money's no option.
Object.
So you could go to work and potentially have a fatal accident with 200 million in bank.
Potentially. Could, yeah. Yeah.
But why would that be a problem?
A fatal accident, because you'd be dead.
No, but what I'm saying is, if he goes public or not and he has a fatal accident, then...
No, he wouldn't work.
It's not talking about going public, it's talking about still working.
Oh, well, he could be driving down a motorway and have an accident.
Yeah,
I mean,
well,
the chances of him...
So
he's got more chance of winning lottery than
Would
having
you,
a fatal
Mark?
accident.
Would you quit work immediately? Would you literally hand your notice in like that?
Yes.
Did your boss listen to this podcast?
Probably not, but no. And by all accounts, anybody who's had any significant influence on me professionally, I'd look after them as well. To be honest, so there are people in that circle that would benefit.
Yeah.
Because you know when someone's got your back.
Yeah.
So yes, I would. Because you don't. First and foremost, you need to be getting your house in order, wouldn't you? Right? What am I going to do here? Because you've got all of a sudden, it's a life-changing amount of money, isn't it? You've got, and like you said, it's all well and good saying you're not going to go public and stuff, but people will start finding out because things will start changing. Where's it moving to? Why have you put your house up for sale? Well, you put your house up for sale or giving it away or whatever it is that you've done. Word starts to get around, doesn't it? So
the thing is, there's a difference between people finding out, like, Barry and Sylvie from next door, and the local village start finding out. There's a difference between that or thinking that they know, than it being literally front page of the Sun newspaper.
Yeah,
where
absolutely.
everyone knows it, and it's in Google.
My first and worst concern would be security. Mm-hmm. It literally would, and I don't know why, but I'd just be like, the minute you got something that, some of the worst people that walk the earth would want.
Yeah. I mean, I like your idealistic values, Rob.
Yeah.
I think they are a bit idealistic. I think, the first thing that
they're only idealistic if I don't do them, though, aren't they?
Well, yeah, but this is what I'm saying. I think there's one thing about the theory of having 200 million in the bank and oh no, I'll go to work. I'll 4 or 5 months, get my head straight, get my head into gear, and the realization, the reality of that, of having 200 million in the bank and your alarm going off at 4 o'clock in the morning to get up for work, and knowing full well that you don't have to, knowing full well that you would never have to do that again.
I'd be throwing that 24-karat gold alarm clock down the garden,
or in the middle of a night shift at 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning. I think it would get boring very quickly. I think and don't forget, apparently, I don't know, I've never won the lottery, but apparently the first thing that the lottery advise you to do is go on holiday. Like literally, within a day or so, leave the country. Right. You and your wife or whatever, go.
Get your head in gear.
And get your head in gear. Spend 2 weeks absorbing it, letting it settle in, think about what matters to you, what doesn't,
Do they pay for the holiday? Because they're telling you to go on holiday. Do they pay for it?
Well, I'm sure it don't really matter at that point.
Ringing Thomas Cook up. I've not got any money yet. However, when the check clears, I'm very rich.
And that's what they do. And then when you come back, obviously you have a meeting with the financial advisor. And like Mark says, there's stuff to do. There's stuff to sort out. Who you're banking with, who you know, what does that look like? How much are you investing? What
do you think they help you with all that?
They do. They have to.
Absolutely do.
Do they?
They have to.
They have a moral
obligation.
A legal obligation.
They have to.
Is it illegal or moral obligation?
I suppose it would be, because can you imagine? It's like, it's not a burden as such, but it is a huge financial. Like, wow, hang on a minute. How do you deal with something so enormous? But I think, going back to what you were saying about work, I would have a work interest. Definitely. I wouldn't be able to. I don't think I'd be able to just swan around and just pee it up the wall, so to speak, or build a racetrack in my back garden like one guy did. That bloke who blow everything on ridiculous things. But I'd have to have some sort of an interest in something that I'm personally invested in. Music or events or something like that. And I would want, those around me, friends, because they wouldn't have to go to work, but I'd want them to be involved in it. Let's do something that we really enjoy doing. And
starting a podcast.
Start a podcast. buy some listeners.
Buy some.
Yeah. Let's get more. more than 15 or 16 listeners.
Yeah. If anyone would like to
I know we get
donate,
more-
there's a donate button on our website.
Yeah, buy us some lottery
There is.
tickets.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think. It'd be great, wouldn't it? The options that you'd have.
Yeah, well, you've also
Yeah.
got to think about, and I think what a few people, or maybe a lot of people, don't realise, and that's why I asked about how much money, or what we're talking about, how much money. £200 million is a different world.
Almost unfathomable.
Yeah, to us and stuff like don't get me wrong, winning 10 million. Well, winning $1 million is life changing. Winning 10 million is certainly retirement money, and stuff like that. Yeah, but you pull a face, Rob. I don't think I could retire if I won £1 million.
Oh no,
Not for the rest of my life.
No, I couldn't.
But
I could easy.
Oh, you could, yeah,
I
but you
could
can live
retire-
on. You can live on threepence.
You've only got 5 years
Absolutely
left.
would.
I could retire on $500,000.
Yeah, if I got $1 million, that'd be me done.
See, I don't think I could.
I'd have an
retire at
interest,
$1
like
On
I said.
what? Half a
$1
million?
million. I'd have an interest because a house would be paid for.
Yeah.
And right, let's have a look at what we're going to do. And I'd have something that would keep topping that back up, some sort of an interest. Do you know what I mean? I'd either invest in something or start something up that I could sort of half look after whilst enjoying more of my own time.
But is that retiring or semi-retiring?
I suppose it's probably semi-retiring, isn't it? But in that you wouldn't necessarily be working for somebody else.
Yeah. No, I
So
get that.
you've been pulling your own.
I totally get that. I think if
Yeah.
I won $1 million, I think I'd do something different. But I don't think that. What I'm saying is, if I won $1 million, I don't think I could live the rest of my life without earning a single penny.
Oh, yeah.
For the rest of my life.
Certainly not the lifestyle that I'd like to.
Exactly.
To live.
That's what I mean. But when we start talking about 50 million, 80 million, 100 million, 200 million, just the interest alone.
Yeah.
Is unfathomable.
Like Brewster's Millionaire.
And I tell you what, I'm sitting next to you too much, Mark.
And I've already said it, and I got it right. Unfathomable.
I'm at it now.
Mark, what would you do with it?
What would with 200 million?
Bury it under patio.
Yeah.
Well, I'd do something similar to you, as in I think I'd carry on working.
Carry on working. What? Watching Dickinson's reel, did he?
Don't get me started. Listen, do you know how many adverts there is in these sort of
Pay the
programs?
production companies to cut the adverts so that they can watch it from beginning to end.
Oh,
and can you
I-
also drop the coming up bit,
Don't,
please?
honestly, too many adverts, and they tell you what's coming up. Anyway, I've told you. Don't get me started.
So would
on
you
that
carry
again.
on DJing?
I'd carry on DJing,
Right.
yes, because I'd have to do something. I mean, it's my business, so I would have to carry on doing something. I'd just get bored at home.
Yeah.
But I would do the usual thing that. What you don't
No,
think
I agree.
Don't think
I agree that I think we're all in the same mindset of we'd have to do something.
Yeah.
We laugh and joke about that we're old and over the hill, but we're not. We've got a lot of life left to live, and we don't. I'm sure.
I've only
there's-
just started.
There's things that we want to achieve and do. I just can't buy into this whole. If you've won £200 million and it is sat there in your bank, that you would just carry on in the first instance. I know you're saying in the first instance, but carry on as though nothing has happened.
Because it's an element of control, and it's me. It
Yeah.
would be me proving to myself that I am still in control. I've just won 200 million. Great, fantastic, over the moon. But I have to remain in control. That's where I would. And then when you read some of the stories of the relationships, marriages, all sorts, that's literally spiraled because they just can't cope with that amount of money.
Yeah, I mean, unfortunately, Rob, I sit in the camp.
Kirk's already spent it. He's not even bought a ticket yet.
Unfortunately, I do sit into the camp that if that happens in your life, just because money has been introduced, then the grounding and the relationship wasn't there in the first place.
Yeah.
And people can argue with me all day long. Of course, money changes your life, but if money is introduced into your life and then all of a sudden your marriage breaks down, then there's a problem with your marriage in the first
Yeah.
place.
Yeah, it should only ever enhance what you've already got, shouldn't it?
Exactly. So, Mark, you obviously you said that you'd carry on DJing at the first.
At the hotel?
Yep.
Karen coming up after 4 sherbets.
Yeah.
Play this. Why
Yeah.
aren't you playing Shawaddy Waddy?
Your music's rubbish. Your shit.
Yeah.
What you're saying is you'd do that for a little bit, and
I
then
do it for a little bit, yeah.
and then-
I think, similar grounds with Rob, to keep me grounded and that I'm in control of it. I just won't pack it in, because part of me would I feel a duty for my venues that I DJ'd, because if I packed it in, what they're going to do. I mean, yeah, I'm not saying that they can't cope without me. I don't mean that. But there is an element of, there's a wedding next week. Well, so I'd just carry on initially, maybe for a couple of weeks, a month or so. But then going forward, all I'd want to do is expand my business and do the things that I want to do with it.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I would do.
And how generous would you all be with the money? How far would it stretch into? And I don't mean to the realms of charity. To this point, I mean, how far would you extend it to the people that you know? Would you give it to people you work with? Would you give it to How would you do it?
I would. Listen, I've thought about this a lot, guys. I could literally talk all night about this. But I would be a little generous. A little bit generous with what's it called? Acquaintances, people on the outskirts, if you like, people that you know of, people that you know. But then I would be extremely generous with my closest.
That's
people.
good to know.
It's to be anyone that's personally affected me for the better.
Yes,
I think it's probably the best way to put it.
Yeah, that's a good way.
And that's whether that's at work or at home.
Yeah,
so anybody that's had your back.
I've already had a thought that I'd love to draw almost like imagine like an archery target. Yeah, with the different circles.
Yeah,
and then just
you're in that one.
Yeah,
plot people where they sit.
People you're going to shoot.
Get everybody into a room. Right, you're on the outer periphery. You can go into the centre. Yes, I forgot you were coming. I'll come back to you.
And then literally just
look at what you could have won.
Write people's names into a like a target, and I almost imagine it that I do mine and Daisy does hers, and then we bring them together without realising and kind of going, right, who sits where, because this means we'll pay someone's mortgage off, this means that they never have to work again, this means that sort of thing.
What would you do with the money then? What would you other than giving it to other people and giving stuff? What would you do for you?
What, as in what would I buy or what would I do? Because we've talked about having to do something that keeps us interested or keeps us brain working. Yeah. So do you mean that, or do you mean what would I go out and splurge on? What would be the big lavish splash that you'd just go, right, I'm that's for me?
Right. You, Kirk, then?
Listen. For me, obviously, it's the same boring answer. Really, it's the houses and the cars and the holidays.
Yeah,
yeah.
You're the same, Mark.
Pretty much same. Yeah. I mean, you would, wouldn't you? Yachts, a jet or whatever, houses, holidays.
Mine would be.
What more can you do with it?
Well, I mean, I'm not straying off the norm, to be fair, but I think I mentioned this before in the bucket list. I'd want to, regardless of how much money I'd given to everyone, I'd want to get everyone together on the same holiday.
Yeah.
The same frequent holidays. That would be something that I would actively keep pursuing, right, guys?
We could kill him off and do a whodunit.
Yes.
Miss Marple. I just want to get everyone together, go away on a yacht, do the whole... It would then tick the bucket list as well, wouldn't it? Because I've managed it.
Yeah. Would travelling first class still be all right? Would you pay for that then?
Yeah, I'd be turning left. I'd be turning left. In fact, pilot... No, yeah, my turn left, you turn left.
Yeah, I think, and I can imagine we'd all be... Well, I say we. I'm assuming I'd be invited. I'm hoping I'd be invited. He's only laughing.
You would.
Oh, well, thank you. We'd all be on there having a couple of drinks. Where's Rob? And then he'd be parachuting in, ticking off his bucket list as well.
Absolutely.
Fall short, land into the shark-infested waters and die.
I'll tell you what.
I'm not really laughing at you dying, Rob.
Thanks. Do you remember this was recently, like last year, when the couple that thought they'd won the lottery, but they hadn't actually won? Do you know the story?
Is this a young couple?
A young couple, 19 and 20.
And they thought it was something to do with, they thought they'd put the numbers on, but they hadn't.
Well, they played it online by direct debit.
Yeah, because there weren't enough money
so
in their
it automatically generates thing. There wasn't enough money in the account. It had not gone on, but they were sat with their numbers in front of them because they don't look at and every number came out.
When it's 60 odd million as well?
No. It was 182 million.
I mean,
that's some serious counselling, that.
Yeah.
Innit?
Yeah.
Could you imagine dragging yourself to work on that Monday morning?
And what's worse is she found out on the phone when she rang him to tell him she'd won. So she rang the National Lottery and said, I've won. She went through the numbers and said, I'm really sorry you've got all the numbers, but your direct debit payment didn't go through.
And how, I mean, I don't know whether it is classed as irony or whatever, but the reason why they didn't is because they couldn't afford to play.
Yeah.
Do you get what I mean? The reason why they didn't win 180 odd million is because they didn't have enough in their bank to cover a £2.50 lottery ticket.
Yeah.
Well, it depends how many goals they're having, I suppose. But yeah, could you imagine?
I mean, it's like morally, where does it sit? Like,
Well, there's a lesson to be learned there. Just make sure you've got enough money in your account. I mean, check your
easier
direct
said than
debits.
done.
Well,
morally, if you'd played, I don't know, let's just say 10 years, they were young.
Every
They were
week.
young. You were every week, 10 years. Where did Camelot sit and go? I mean, £1 on 1 week.
Yeah.
And they didn't put. I mean,
Yeah,
really?
they've had one go at lottery. They had £2.49 in their bank account. And it's bounced for
Like
a penny.
the woman that was sat on that's got the thing that can go, oh gosh, backtrack this somehow. I need to get this payment to have gone through for them, bless them.
You can't listen. I feel for it. Absolutely, I feel for them. But the bottom line is, they didn't buy a ticket,
Yeah.
and that's it. That's
black
it.
and white.
Because where do you draw the line?
yeah, exactly.
I was going to go to the post office or whatever, but it was raining.
I mean, that's the danger of playing regular numbers, because I don't play regular numbers.
No.
Because if that's the danger, because if you're playing your same numbers every week and you miss a week, or they come up, boom, you're going to feel bad like that couple. So I just play lucky dips.
I
Lucky
do.
dips.
When I play lucky dips. Here's a question: Would you rather, going back to our last episode, would you rather? So at the minute, obviously, you've got your Euro millions. Let's say. So let's say 10 million. Let's say £15 million. Or you've got the set for life, haven't you? Which is 30,000 a month.
All right. Yeah.
For
10 years, it's 30 years?
30 years,
10 years,
30 years, I think. Yeah,
30 years.
So 10,000.
Was it 10,000 a month? for 30
£10,000 a month for 30
years. Yeah.
Which would you rather win? 'Cause it's a very different
Yeah.
lifestyle, isn't it? So, one is all the money, all there, and going back to what you said, Rob, it maybe comes with its own pressures, its own stressors, its own things to deal with. Or £10,000 a month, end of the day tax-free, is still enough to quit work, get a nice house, nice holidays or whatever, without that stress of millions in the bank.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're still going to have a mortgage, aren't you? It's just going to be a bigger mortgage.
Yeah.
I think I would prefer the second option where you it's drip fed to you.
Yeah.
So that you've actually technically still got to save for something.
Yeah.
If you want
Yeah,
it, you
yeah.
can't. It isn't just a case of just go and get it. Most things, yeah.
And you
But
can't
if-
blow it all in one
Yeah,
go
but
either.
if you want it, you've got to. You might have to save for it. I
What-
was
what
thinking
if-
of
what
buying
if
that
you- what if
small
you
island
die?
off Fuji.
Yep.
What if you die? Do you still
Yeah.
get the money?
No. You
You're
did.
dead.
Well,
So it's not
Set,
fast for
it's
anybody
set
else.
for life. No, that's why on
Well,
on the advert for it, it says caps may apply. If you look at the little asterisks or whatever,
Well, there
it
you go.
says caps may apply. It's because if you die before the 30 years, it dies with you. It's set for
Well,
life.
But it's not really a good return on investment, Mark, for you.
certainly not. But that's what I'd never take that option anyway, all day long, because if I won 100 million or whatever, I'd prefer that than.
Yeah.
That's why I didn't say 100 million though,
Well,
because
what-
then
what was the amount you said,
but-
sorry?
So if you look at it, the set for life is it works out at 3.6 million pounds.
Yeah.
In total, if you were to save it all up. So if it was a case of 3.6 million pound paid £10,000 a month every month for the next 30 years, or let's say 3.6 million in a lump sum in your bank,
I'd have the lump sum payment.
would you?
Yeah.
I mean, it
'cause
does change things slightly, I think, when you say that it's capped. Because it annoys me that when you go, so if I win at 16, by the time I get to 45, I've had my money. They won't give me any
If
more.
you get to
But if
45.
but if I got it when I was 50 and died after 2 years, you're not going to give that money to my siblings.
Absolutely.
So that winds me up a bit. So I go, no, I'll just take the money because then I'm in control of it. But then again, there's
Well,
the other
the
side of it.
key thing is you wouldn't play that particular game because you don't have a. I mean, I know Kirk's put it as a question, but that's not how you play on lottery.
Right, yeah.
You either play set for life or you play lottery.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I'll tell you what winds me up, what annoys me more, and I've thought this more recently, is the difference in what you win when you get 6 numbers versus what you get when you get 5 numbers.
Crazy.
Like it's absolutely
crazy now.
ridiculous, isn't it?
Yeah.
It doesn't, and it would make far more sense to have smaller, big wins than one huge, massive win.
It doesn't give them the headline for selling the tickets, though, does it?
No, I guess not.
No, but I think there's room for a little bit of both. I genuinely think there's a, if they're sat there, I don't know, the Euro Millions, let's say for argument's sake, and the jackpot gets to 120 million, let's say, or even 100 million, that's enough. 100 million is enough. It's enough for somebody to win.
Yeah.
It's enough for the headlines and stuff. It's enough to get people to maybe think, I'm going to have a go.
And then spend the other 95 million on two
the other 10 million,
prizes.
20 million, 30 million, 50 million, whatever it is above that. Bleed it down to the other smaller
The
prizes.
biggest win's 108.95, isn't it?
Something like that.
If you go back to when it first started in 1994, that's how it used to be.
1994.
That's when it first
We've
started.
just started comp.
I was 12.
So when you got your 6 numbers, Mark's right. You need those. You need it to be a jackpot. I know it's a ridiculous amount of money, but you need it to pull people in to buy tickets. But when you got 5 numbers, it tiered down quite well. But then, of course, when they had the big shake-up, when they brought in more Euro Millions and ticket price went, that's when they did all the shake-up. And they added more. If you remember, it were numbers 1 to 49 when it first started. Yeah. Then they added an extra 10 numbers.
Right, yeah.
Maybe about 10 years ago. Now it's up to 1 to 59.
Has it always been Camelot up to this point?
Camelot's always had the license.
So it wasn't because it changed company. It was just
it's been up for auction and whatever they use.
Tender.
Tender. That's it. 4 times, and Camelot's won it. 3 times. They've just recently lost it. Well, they lost it a couple of years ago.
Yes, I'd heard they've lost it.
Because one year Richard Branson he wanted to do it, and he lost against Camelot, and I really wanted him to win. Because he would have won it as a non-for-profits company, so he wouldn't have. We wouldn't have took any money from it, and he would have given more to charity and more to the winners. And God knows why he lost.
So who you say they've just recently lost it then? Who is it that it's gone to? Do we know?
It's a company. When I read this story, it's a company called. Wait till you hear the name of the company. It's called All Win Entertainments. Win spelled W-Y-N. All Win Entertainments.
Well, they're Welsh.
You think so, wouldn't you? Well, they're a foreign company. I think they're Czech.
Welsh.
Czech. They're based in. I'm going to say Czechland, but that's not a country. I know.
How do they make the payments when you win?
The land of Czech.
Even I'm like that laughing. I said it. They're a Czech company, which is in Czechoslovakia, isn't it? Yeah.
It's now the Republic of
Czech Republic.
Czech Republic.
Czechoslovakia
doesn't actually exist anymore, does it?
I don't know.
Czech Republic, yeah.
Headquarters in Yugoslavia.
And they run most of the lotteries in most European countries. So they've taken over from Camelot.
And have they already taken over it?
No, not yet. They're going to take over. They're due to take over next month.
Really?
As far as I've read.
Wow.
Oh wow! Because I'm sure I'd heard that one of the reasons that they won the bid or the tender was because they were going to have smaller denomination.
What's the word again?
Yeah, they were going to have smaller.
No, the money was going to roll down into so the less numbers you get, the more money you'll win.
Which is what we've just been talking about.
Yes, yeah, right, yeah.
And they have said they're going to shake it up a bit, and they're going to bring in new stuff and.
Right, okay.
Yeah. So
that could be.
They've not. We don't know what it is. The lottery board or whatever, because it's all behind closed doors. They know what they're doing, but they've not made it public. So obviously they won the bid. They assessed it, and then they've decided it should be this company that takes it over.
I think it is ready for a bit of a shake-up, so I'm glad that somebody else has got it. It'd be see how they do it different. But I'm not going to badmouth Camelot completely. I mean, it's a lot of money that's gone to charity, though, hasn't it?
Yeah.
I don't know how much they give, but it's got to be a lot, hasn't it?
It's got over the years. I mean, since what, 1994?
1994 it started.
So you're talking hundreds of millions that they've given to charity, aren't they?
It is hundreds of millions, yeah.
Wow. So I mean that in itself's a good thing, isn't it? Let's face it.
I play the lottery, and I do give to charity outside of this, by the way. But I also say that playing the National Lottery is also part of giving to charity. Because you are.
You would.
Well, you are. You contribute. You are contributing towards charity.
Let me guess, you're doing it as a tax write-off at the same time.
Against charity. Yeah,
moving on.
Yeah. When you're walking into the supermarket, you walk past the homeless bloke and you go, "Yeah, it's all right, mate. I'm having to go on the lottery."
Well, your tax return does say, "Do you give
Don't
to
worry,
charity?"
I've got your back.
Yeah, I do give to charity. Pay lottery every
I
week.
get on the outer periphery.
So can I ask, does anyone not play the lottery out of us four?
I play it randomly, so I don't play it every week. Like I said, I've been deadly serious when I said I know tongue in cheek because any amount of win would be great, but for me, I'm one of them people that once it gets above like 60 million or something like that, I think, oh, I'll have a go.
Yeah.
Yeah. Is that what you do, Mark?
Yeah.
I'm in the death trap of I've got set numbers, and now I can't not play them.
Yeah, you see, that's what I said earlier about set numbers. You see, that's the
Once you
danger.
start set numbers, that's it.
I mean, I play every single game.
Yeah,
on
I do.
every so I play Euro Millions, I play Set for Life, I play Thunderball, I play Lottery.
So if there
I
was
play on every game, every.
and you've never miss. You never miss.
No.
So I suppose this question.
And I
didn't
play
really
by
work,
direct debit.
This question didn't really work for you. So then, Kirk, if there was a website where you could go on and you could punch your numbers in and it would tell you if they've ever come out, would you have a look?
Well, you know you can do that.
Go say,
Can you?
I have done that before. Now, not to the degree of a website or whatever. What I've done is I've put in the numbers that I played into the National Lottery app,
Yeah,
and then selected the last year.
Oh
Or
yeah.
whatever, and just to see how much them numbers would have brought over the last year. But I haven't done it much further than that, or much, but I have done that before, yes.
Well, that's the website. If you want to know every draw,
No thanks. Because I will end up having to have a look.
Camelot is the site that you go to because they will tell you every game they've ever drawn.
Right.
On Camelot, yeah.
Right.
So you can
I
check
didn't
your
know you
numbers.
could just punch your numbers in. It would go, yeah, on the 3rd of June.
Yeah, and
2006, those numbers came out, all of them.
it'll also tell you what ball comes out more than any other ball.
Yeah, I've seen that before.
Things like that.
Different, like the chances, if you like, of
Yeah.
the numbers.
So
coming out.
you'd automatically think, well, ball number 2 and number 59 and 46 have come out top.
They say
sort
that on
of
the
got there.
draws, don't they?
But of course, they don't
This
work like
number
that.
is the 37th time
Yeah.
that number's come out this year.
So how would you feel about us putting a lottery on? We can't do a lottery episode and then not put a lottery on and just have a go on it.
As a one-off, or
Yeah,
as a,
well-
or as a syndicate thing.
Well, the thing is, though, how would you do it as a one-off, though? Because then the numbers would become fixed. Rob wouldn't be able to sleep
Yeah.
at night.
What we do-
Mark could have it in his spreadsheet.
And for a fact, if I did pick numbers, I'd want them. I think they should be related to the podcast, so they've got some meaning behind
Listen,
it.
I've no issue with us four starting a little bit of a syndicate, but
Yeah.
for me, I think it just needs to be just on the Euro Millions, one line
Yeah,
that we
absolutely.
pick a set
Well, why
of
don't we
numbers.
just do one, just as a one-off for now, and see how we get on.
It'd be great if some of our listeners could send us some numbers to pick. Why don't they do
Yeah,
that?
absolutely.
It's two listeners.
Yeah, we might be waiting a while for that. Are you up for it?
I'm up for it.
I'm up for it.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
I'm
Okay.
up for it.
I know exactly.
Question is, if we win and we win big,
Yeah.
Are we sharing?
are we going to
Yes.
carry on doing podcast?
Me and Rob will, yeah.
I'd
Me and Rob
love to.
definitely come in for work.
I'd love to.
in between
Diamond-
work.
on
You
the
won't be, you're off.
diamond-encrusted microphones.
We might be able to set up some cameras.
So, hi, this is the chatting live from Monaco.
I'm gonna go first, and I'm gonna pick 45.
Are we picking numbers now?
Oh,
No, right
Well,
now,
yeah, cheers.
absolutely.
How
Well,
many
there's
numbers
only
are
4 of us.
59?
So I'm going first. I'm
Is someone
picking-
writing them down?
Yeah, me. I'm picking 45 because that's the average length of our podcast.
Fantastic.
45 minutes.
Can I? I wanted 22 because that's my favourite number.
Well, I mean, you can. But
Well, it's my favourite number, and I'm on the podcast.
okay, all right.
Why can't you have that? Why is he pulling his
can, I
face?
would just-
Rob wants it to be podcast related,
No, I just thought it were good if it were, but
Oh, right, okay, fine. Right.
but I'm still having
Well,
22.
I don't think we're going to have enough numbers for that. But go on, Mark. What would you say?
Let's have the number 10.
Any particular reason?
You were already thinking it when you're... Because this will be episode number 10, won't it?
Oh,
Oh,
Cheeky.
cheeky.
Yeah.
No, this will be episode 11.
Oh, will it? Yeah. we'll have 11 as well, then.
That's 11.
My turn.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, we're all looking at you.
Okay, I'll have number 4.
All right.
That's not hard to understand why they were having 4.
Because there's four
Four
of
of
us.
us.
Now, can we? Should we retract? Because you can't. You shouldn't. You should never retract a number when you've gone for something.
Absolutely not. So at the minute, what? We've got 4, 10, 11.
45, 22.
Why can't you do it in numerical order?
Well, because I've just done it as I've written it down.
All right.
44, 22, 10 and 4.
What about 11? I thought we decided that we were going to do 11 because
Oh,
it's...
is 11 as well? Yeah, I'll add 11 in as well.
Number 1,
What's 1 for?
1st of December, that's when we launched.
It is.
Oh, yeah.
It is. So how many numbers do you pick on Euro Millions?
6.
It's 6.
6. And how many is that?
6.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
what we got? 1, 4, 10, 11, 22,
I'd say our odds are pretty,
45.
45.
Yeah.
1,
Your memory is ridiculously
1,
good.
4, 10, 11, 22, 45.
Yeah.
Cool.
Oh, he's got a good memory.
So that's
there
it
you go.
now. They're ingrained in my head. So
Well done. So you can go put them on.
don't leave that to me. It needs to be Mark that does that.
Yeah.
Oh, well, okay, I'll do it.
It needs to be Mark that
Fantastic.
does that.
So there we go. We're set for his first game of lottery.
So if we're not here next week, we've won.
If you go to tune in next week, guys, and it's just silence,
It's just the
then there you go.
elevator music. Doom, 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 doom. We're on holiday. We're in the
Time at
Bahamas.
the bar, please.
Right, well, make sure you put them on them, Mark,
Will do.
because that's it now. They're in my head, so I'll be looking.
I don't know the number, so you need to tell me, and then I'll put them on.
All right, no worries. Let's see. Any of the listeners want to share with us? Don't, because we want it all to ourselves. We've
When
got
you
a lot-
send Mark the numbers, send them so they're not in numerical order.
Oh no, I couldn't even bring
That would
myself.
fry his
No,
brain.
Kurt couldn't even do that.
No, I couldn't do
You'd
that.
have to read.
And on that note, it's been a pleasure, boys.
It really has. Thank you very much, guys.
Thank you.
Thanks a lot.
See you next week.
Bye.
Bye,
Hopefully
bye.
millionaires.
Do you have a dilemma? Maybe a burning question you're longing to be answered? Or you just want to get in touch with us? Why not drop us a voice note or a message over email at innthechat@gmail.com. That's 2 N's, not 1 N, because 1 N, it doesn't matter. Innthechat@gmail.com. We look forward to hearing from you.